Hey guys, this is Apollo here, and it's time for a deck of well, school just opened, and well, today's my only rest day in the week, so I decided, you know what, I've built Alden and I've played Alden a lot. Why not show my new Alden deck list for the post DZ-BT04. So in general, Alden's a really fun deck. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, Alden's so fun. Like, I really love this deck. It's so much more better than the original one, honestly speaking. So let's go on deck with the right deck first. Starter, I run the new Atmos. You can run any starter you want, but for me, Atmos works because, well, I'm just giving the demon anime. Grade 1, I run the new Tranquilia. Tranquilia's skill is that when this is rolled upon by this new grade 2 studios, you can look at top 5 cards of the deck for 1 grade 2 higher, put 1 in hand to the deck. If you do not add a card, you can energy charge it too. So maybe a little bit of a sort of quote-unquote upgrade from your old one, although I would say the energy charges work because essentially if you're going second and you don't get any from your hand, you can essentially sort of energy about 7 drawn immediately, which is really good. But most of the time, it's good because it doesn't eat your soul. The only card you soul for the right line is Sodios, but even then, what are we gonna do really? So grade 2, I run the new Sodios. Sodios skill is that when this unit is rolled upon by an Alden, not just the Destined Alden like this one here, but it is the order also works. You may so also look at the top 5 cards for grade 3 or lower, call the rear guard and shuffle your deck. So big upgrade. Like the Sodios, you can reveal 3 from grades from hand, and you can top 5 for a grade 2 or less, and then you call it rear guard. If you did not call, you call it from soul. These two are pretty much the same, just this one grade lower. And of course, the new one is the Destined Protection Alden. Yes, I got ESR because it looks nice. I'm not gonna lie, I do like Alden as a non-card in general. So Alden's skill is that first skill continues on Vanguard circle. When a unit is placed on top of a Vanguard circle with another unit, the unit below it goes back to your hand instead of putting a drop. So essentially, if you're gonna call like this instead of like going to drop, it just goes back to your hand. So keep in mind, before I forget, when it's called by discard effect. It's not by manually calling from on top. If you manually call from your hand, then that thing's gonna drop. But if you're using it's called over by Alden's ability, then you can put that card back to hand. Second skill, auto and Vanguard cycle. When this unit attacks, you can counterblast 1, draw a card, choose a card from your hand, call the rear guard circle, and for that turn, that unit you call cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects, and this unit gets 10 power. That unit gets 10 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So both of them go that way. First skill, this is the Divine skill. Act, Vanguard circle, Soul Blast 1. You can look at the top 7 cards of your deck, call up to 2 cards, call the rear guard, and then for that turn, your opponent cannot choose those cards to retire by their card effects at the end of their turn, their next turn, and then you shuffle the deck. So I would say this is a very different, totally different deck compared to the original Alden. So I would say this is a little more efficient because, well, on the old one, there's a requirement for you to call the 2 cards from your hand. This one at least, gives you a bit more playability, I would say, and more versatility when it comes to doing stuff here and there. And with the fact that you can call back the cards back to hand is pretty good actually. That's the right line. We'll put that aside here. Yes. So, okay, so let's go to the main deck. So the main deck, it is pretty straightforward. I mean, well, I won't say straightforward, but it is kind of a mix between the new stuff that came with the new booster set and whatever stuff I can afford or whatever I have back from my old Alden deck. So, okay, so but for the grade 3s, obviously you need 3% of rights. Nothing much to say here. I do not explain anything else. Okay, the next grade 3 I run as a support, I run for Reginald. So Reginald is a really good card. Like, okay, her first skill is when this is placed on rear guard cycle, you can energy blast 4 to draw a card. So this is the only card that relies on energy for that turn, really. So I'm not gonna so much say here. Second skill, auto on rear cycle. When your other unit with Alden grade 3 attacks of no, let's try again. Okay. When your grade 3 or higher other unit of Alden's card name attacks the Vanguard, and is placed on... No, sorry, apologies. If your other grade 3 Alden unit, Vanguard, that is placed on top of her by that Alden's ability, you can... that unit on top, that sex on top gets 10 power, very similar to Jewel Knights. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, you can still pass 1. You can choose another unit and stand it. So that essentially makes Alden a 5 attack deck. That is how good Alden is actually. Especially back then with Alden, yeah, it is technically a 5 attack deck with its own support, but again, the requirement to pull up is a little bit harder compared to this. This is actually a straight up 5 attack deck, which is really good. So that's that. And then next off, I run, this is from my own Alden deck, I run 3 Sages. Simply because, well, it is like a complementary card to Alden and Chanel, if you ever see it myself. First skill continues on Regard Garden Circle. When this during that turn, your opponent's turn, if your opponent during that turn that your opponent either drive check or damage checked a trigger, this unit get plus 10,000 power and 10k shield. Second skill, auto on Regard Circle. Once per turn, when this unit attacks, you may look at top card of your deck and put in the soul or leave it on top of the deck. Then you count as 1 and you perform one of the following. If your opponent's Vanguard is 14,000 power or more, you basically increase this unit's power by that opponent's powers on the Vanguard. Second, the other one you can do is that you can remove a over trigger from a drop. Choose one of your other vulnerable units, and for that turn, it gets 15k power. So essentially, that's the main idea is actually just to give you soul plus gives you that copy the power, like gain the power from your opponent's Vanguard. So pretty good, and also it is essentially take your shield when you think about it. Okay, that's for the grade 3s. Now for grade 2s, very important card you run and a very good card now that all this rebuffed up is Ermac. Ermac skill is when this unit is placed on a Regard Circle if your Vanguard is an Alden. If you have a unit of Alden's card name, during the turn, this unit gets 5,000 power. If this card is called by an ability, this unit gets 15k power instead of 5,000 power. So with Rationale and let's say personal right with Alden's skill, it essentially hits up to 55k on its own, which is really amazing. Like, this card is really good. I'm glad I picked up Alden way back then, and now that when I was cooking the deck up, I realized this card really is really useful. In fact, in the stream when Alden was revealed, they mentioned that Ermac is really useful for this deck, which you're not lying, and it's pretty good. It's really that good of a card. So amazing. Right. So the other backup grade 2 I run, well, I mean, this is where you can put whatever you want. So in my case, I put 4 Gentlemen's. Gentleman's skill is that when this unit intercepts, if your Vanguard is an Alden, a grade 2 or higher Alden, for the battle, this unit gets plus 20k shield, so 25k shield intercept basically. Now you can run other cards like Telefault. There's a lot of other grade 2s you can run, like general grade 2s you can run, but because this is Alden based and I couldn't afford to get that Telefault really, this is my only backed up grade 2. Right? You can run any one really, but it just depends on how this deck will work with your deck you have. Because my deck is more the quote unquote protection kind of style, and I would play Gentleman. But it's a really good card, like because it's a 20k shield, 25k shield really. Alright, that's for the grade 2. It's not a lot of grade 2s, but it's still pretty good. Grade 1s, I run Wedge of Flint's Dragon. First skill, when this unit boosts for that battle, if your Vanguard is an Alden, a grade 2 or higher Alden, this unit gets 5,000 power. Second skill, when this unit boosts a grade 2 or higher Alden Vanguard, social charge 1, and unit first battle, this unit gets 2,000 power. So 15k booster if you boost an Alden. And soul charge. Pretty good, because the soul charge you really need that for a Rationale really, so there's that. Next off, I run 4 Gargons. Now, I've seen some play Firon in the deck. Well, it is true that Firon is a good rush target, like you can rush her, immediately call her and do stuff here and there. I find Firon, at least in the Destined one only, is pretty slow. So, honestly speaking, I wouldn't really want to play Firon because it's really slow. Yes, early game pretty good, but late game, I mean, if you win Firon, it's gonna be real slow. So I rather play Gargant because she is a really like a good target. Looks like a good target, but rather a more faster paced card and much more suitable for Alden as opposed to Firon. I think Firon works on the older deck, if you ask me. So Gargon skill, when this during the turn, if your Vanguard has a Divine skill, during the turn when a unit is placed by your Vanguard skill, Divine skill ability, for this turn this unit gets, when this unit boosts at battle, you may cost retire this unit and characters 1 and plus 5 in power. So it does synchronize well with Alden, if you ask me myself. Alright, I play 4 PGs. Again, ideally do take up 1 PG for a second tier, not just here. And the other one I run is a grade 0 is Sirius. This is a very good card. Like, Disney went out of price because of this card alone. So I'm not surprised, but I am okay with that. Sirius skill, during a turn, if you have a Vanguard with Alden's card name, this unit gets 0 power, so essentially AK booster. Second skill, once per turn, when a unit is placed on the rearguard circle by a ability of Alden, by Alden, you may cast 1, choose a rearguard and stand it. So essentially what you're doing is basically, it's a backup rationale. So I pay for it because, well, essentially it's like basically a second rationale. So in the case I don't have rationale, I can use Sirius to stand a rearguard, or if I want to stand on a boost, what the hell, if you combo with Alden, like Alden with Gargon, for example, then you can actually stand it, then boost it, retire the character 1. That's essentially how the thing works really, so it's pretty neat. So I know this card, I think it's going to price because I want $10 to $12 a copy for this card alone now. But I bought it when Alden was cheap back then, so I'm glad I have these in my own deck. Okay, triggers. I run the red OT, the Valnot, basically. You never want to run a Keter OT. You obviously know why. But Valnot in this case is like a good target, like a OT run. It's hell, I think it's cheap now, so we're gonna get it soon. I run 8 crits. Ideally you wanna run 4 defect crits, but you don't necessarily have to if you don't want to. 3 fronts, because the draw power is really good in this deck, so you don't need to run draws. Fronts are good enough in this deck. Like I said, 5 attack deck, so fronts look good in this case. And 4 heals. With that being said, that is it for my deck profile on the Destined 1 Protection Alden. So, really fun deck. Amazing deck. I love this deck a lot. Like, really. Even though I built Alden back then, and I thought, well, Alden used to be a fun deck for me back then, but now this is a more almost aggressive, it's a more punch in your face kind of thing deck, really. So, it's a really good deck. Like, I think if you can go and find it like certain places who sell playsets, the deck is really cheap. The only thing that's holding you back is probably Airmac, Sirius. I'm not sure about this one, but maybe Sages if you want to put Sages in there. But again, before I move on, I forgot to mention that some people play light leads in this deck, which honestly, light leads does. I mean, yes, it is an all support, but I don't find it really helpful in this deck. In the Destined 1 Alden, at least, I'd rather play side just because it's a more higher power beatdown basically as opposed to like these. Yes, it does give Alden soul in %K, but what's the point when it just souls in with Rigard, and that's what it does. It can't do much after that really. So that's it for my deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching this deck profile. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. I am busy with school right now, so I will not be as active as before. But stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.